a flyer ready. I was talking to it today
So we're on then for Saturday?
for Saturday, yeah.
All right.
Another food distribution on Saturday from Farm Share, and then we're gonna have the one next week from Feeding South Florida. So we're gonna have two.
Wonderful.
We're gonna have two in a week.
That's so
Maria.
good.
Maria, I agree.
It's just terrific.
Yep.
Those are things our community really appreciates because they're nearby. It's, you know, it's something that's tangible and really helps out a lot of people.
There's a lot of need out there.
I know a lot of people that try to make those packages last several days instead of,
Hey,
you know,
Jamie.
for a meal or two.
Hey,
Yes.
Jamie. You know what I heard?
What's
Actually,
up, Bob?
I didn't hear it. I read it. The Miami Herald endorsed our former colleague.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago, Bob.
No, in the paper this morning, sir.
No, but they did it. They interview all three of us.
I was
About
disappointed.
3 weeks
I think
ago.
it's 6
I-
o'clock already, Erica.
Yes,
I was
am setting up
disappointed.
YouTube and we're live.
We are live and in
Yes, we are
Technicolor.
going live and yes, and I'm gonna start with the first department, which would be human resources. So I'm going to stop videos for the other department heads. So when it's their turn, I'll cue them in. Okay.
So Bill Collins is coming on right now.
He's first. Yes, he's
Gotcha.
first on the list. So I'm gonna start.
Billy, hi.
Erica, before we go to Bill, can I just read into the record the memo I sent council?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Um,
We need to take roll call
We need
first.
to go for the invocation and the salute. to
Yeah.
The mayor's gonna deal with us. He
Okay.
always does.
You're on mute.
Bill, unmute yourself.
Mute.
Mayor, you need to unmute yourself, Mayor.
Hello, I'm here.
Erica, give him a hand with that.
I
lid.
am. I'm gonna.
Unmuted.
Gotcha.
Unmuted.
There you go.
There you go.
Wasn't me that was muted. She had me
There
on
you-
mute.
No, you were.
I didn't touch anything.
I got you, man.
All right, call the roll.
Mayor Bain,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Lowe,
Hi, here.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Here.
Councilman Petralanda.
Here.
All right, I don't have my paperwork here to how the meeting, where the meetings are and everything. It wasn't mailed to me, Erica, or text.
No,
you
it's
know.
online, Mayor. It was
Yeah,
online.
I don't go online.
We
So
have the
here's-
invocation
I don't blame you.
by
Yeah,
Councilwoman Mitchell.
Okay, Councilwoman Mitchell, we have invocation.
Gotcha.
Heavenly Father, we ask for your guidance tonight. We ask that you provide wisdom to us as we review the budget and help us decide matters that will help our residents now and also our community in the future. We ask for your blessings always for our beloved city, for our residents and our employees. Amen.
Thank you, Maria, for that.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge
allegiance to the flag
The flag of the United States of America.
and to the
To the
republic
republic
for which it
which
stands,
stands
One
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible,
Indivisible.
with
with
liberty and
liberty
justice for all.
and justice for all.
All right, I guess the city manager needs attention. He has to read something into the record.
Yes, Mayor. After completing our first budget workshop 2 weeks ago, the budget is still currently at a millage of 7.5228, which provides a balanced budget without using reserves. At the first workshop, there were some items set aside for council consideration. Number one, in council's budget, the $2,000 set aside for the League of Cities dinner and ad are to be discussed. The $14,000 for the River Cities Festival will be paid on a reimbursement basis as paid invoices as submitted. There will not be a total upfront payment as in the past. Number two, in the Public Works budget, council to discuss the $25,000 for tree planting for next year, as well as allocating $2,000 for the bags for the doggy stations. Number three, we received RFP responses for the health insurance, and our benefits consultant is evaluating both responses and will provide a summary report shortly. We only had 2 bids, one from our current carrier and one from Humana. The state revenue projections for next year are in line with what we had budgeted, so we will not be realizing any budget benefit from this area. As discussed at the millage setting meeting, we budgeted a reduction of almost $325,000 in state revenues for next year. The July 1st property value assessment was $1,323,842,345, or almost $67.4 million, higher than the prior year's assessment. This represents approximately $469,340 in net additional ad valorem revenues for next year at the current millage rate. Remember, we can only legally budget 95% of total ad valorem revenues.
Correct.
Although we have an additional $469,340 in revenues, this is offset by the $325,000 reduction in state revenues and the almost $150,000 increase in health insurance costs, as well as other increases in ongoing operating costs. At the present time, in order to maintain the current millage rate of 7.33, we would need to use reserves. Originally, I had told you the amount of $242,504. Currently, and I can't go into any more details until we have our meeting next Monday, where the results of the health insurance RFP will be discussed, and since we're still in a cone of silence, I can tell you that at 7.33, our deficit will probably go down to about 187,000. So I want to leave it there. I don't want to discuss any more details until we have our meeting next Monday night.
Thank you, sir.
However, as the year progresses, if state revenues come in higher than budgeted or certain budgeted city events are canceled, we can reduce the amount needed from reserves. Additionally, we're still pending from the county how much of our already incurred COVID-related costs will be reimbursed. This will also reduce any use of reserves. I can tell you personally, I'm pretty confident that we can keep our millage rate at 7.33 and probably not have to go into reserves. That's my personal opinion at this time. But we still have 2 more meetings in September, and this budget will really not be adopted until the second meeting in September. So we'll know a lot more by then, but I'm pretty confident that we can keep our millage rate at 7.33 without using the reserves next year.
I like your take, sir. I like your take.
So with that, unless you have any questions, we can move on to.
Can we discuss one thing that I think was part of either your budget, William, or the council's budget? And I brought this up before, Mayor, and you know where I'm going with this. The $45,000, Rebecca. Does this make any sense going forward based on what's going on right now? Representation in Tallahassee is what I'm talking about.
You're talking the 45,000 in the city manager's budget for the lobbyist.
I am, sir. And the mayor is well aware of what I mean.
Well, I mean, you brought it up and I think that might be something that council can ponder, but
Gotcha.
I think it's something that it's something that you brought it up. It's something to discuss when we can vote.
Okay.
Since
Thank you, Mayor.
this is
Thank
probably my last meeting, I do want to say something on that aspect. I really believe that is a very well spent amount of money. Even given the COVID issue, he still can maintain phone calls. He can still lobby on our behalf, even if he's not in person. I've always thought that was a good investment, and I continue to do so.
I appreciate your thought, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Just for the record, I agree with Councilman Loeb totally. There's none of us that are up to keeping up with what's happening in the legislature, and we need that information. And this last year, that money was very well spent because we came closer than ever to getting a fair share of the hotel taxes. So moving forward, and we already went through this last year, and we realized that.
Yeah, we did.
our
Yeah, we did.
appropriations
Yeah, we did.
on, on the top of the bill, there's too many appropriations from too many municipalities. And the only way to get it on the top of the bill is to have somebody working for you in Tallahassee to keep moving it up there.
I
So-
guess,
You know,
Councilwoman.
Well,
Wait a minute,
Councilwoman, hold on.
wait,
I guess,
wait.
Mayor, through the
May
chair.
I say something,
I
Mayor?
guess, Councilwoman, I have to say to you that, but what did we get out of it? Anything?
Councilman Best, we got really, really close to the last minutes of the legislature in session to getting something that we've been working on for years. So yes, it didn't come
No,
through
I
the way that
I
I saw
appreciate-
sometimes, but.
no, I
and
appreciate
there's a whole bunch of
what you're,
other
I appreciate
issues
what you're
with
saying,
senior
but it
meals
amounted
and-
to,
Don't talk
Yeah,
over each other.
it amounted to nothing. We got nothing.
Okay, Councilman
Oh,
Petrolano.
Mayor, I just-
To be fair, last year we got 850,000 for our senior center. And this year we got 186,000 for senior meals. There were some things, unfortunately, that we didn't get. The bed tax was one of them. But
Right.
if you saw the text that I sent you over the weekend.
Which
from
I did.
One of the senators that voted against it. And she was totally misled about what the plans were for this reapportionment of the bed tax money. I mean, she made a comment to the effect that it was for cities to use as they see fit. That's not true. That's not the way I understood it.
Councilman,
William, so when you quoting those numbers, those are gross numbers, correct? The senior money, that's a gross number, correct?
Yeah, 850 last year and 186,000 this year.
But those
So
gross,
over the last 2 years, it's over $1 million that we've gotten from the state.
those are gross amounts. I just think that if Councilman Betts has an issue with it, we should at least hear him out and just discuss it a little further along the line.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, through the chair, of course, I'm not sure these people have delivered. And I brought that up a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever. I guess I got myself into some trouble for doing that, but I'm looking out for the citizens, man.
If I might.
it was expressed enough tonight. When we get to the table, we can vote.
Right.
We'll go ahead and make the decision.
Thank you, Mayor.
But everything's
Thank you,
noted.
sir.
Everything's
Thank you.
noted from all sides.
Thank you.
Okay, where do we go to first?
Human Resources on section 5. Their budget is on page 5-4. And basically their proposed budget is about $8,400 or 3.1% higher than past year. And as I said in my memo, most of the increase is due to the health insurance increase and the COLA for the employees.
So we're the only thing that's going to change, the COLA stays, is the health insurance amount, depending on the outcome, correct?
Right, correct.
William,
Thank
you initially, through the chair, you initially stated that you would anticipate maybe 20%, right? 18, 20, I think you said. And is that,
The original
we don't have results. We don't have results yet, right?
And I can't go into them until Monday, but the only thing I can say is the original renewal rate from our current carrier initially was 19.5.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Before we went to RFP.
William, it was 19.5% higher than last year's.
Correct.
Wow, that's intense.
Yes.
Any further questions on the budget for human resources?
No, sir, going forward.
Bill, I just want to say to Bill, I know you wear so many hats for our city. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
A
Thank you.
lot of jobs heaped on into one job title.
And Bill has not only gone through this COVID thing with us, but he's also gone through leg surgery where he came in one-legged to work for how many months, Bill?
Right, I broke my ankle back in mid-April. And so, yeah, I was hopping around.
That was because of your Harley.
Yeah, no, I wish I had an exciting story like that. No, it's not. But I went through it's quite painful. An ankle injury, an ankle break, it hurts a lot. So.
Well, good thing you had good health insurance.
I did. Yeah, actually, no, it really was excellent. It was
Can
excellent.
I ask one last thing on this health insurance? I'm not sure, you said 150,000 more this year. Is that definite then, or that's what we anticipate? Or
No.
we're sure it's gonna be 150,000 more?
Councilwoman, I don't think we know that yet.
Okay,
And I think
this
that-
is what we anticipate then.
And I think that's what the manager's trying to say is that he wants to keep it quiet to the next meeting. I don't understand.
Yes, please.
So can't you
Or
keep
at
it
least,
quiet
at
till the next
least,
meeting?
at least until
I agree with
Wednesday,
you, Mayor.
until Wednesday, when the agenda comes out with the, for next Monday's meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Fair. That's fair.
Any other questions on human resources?
No, sir.
Bill, go home and go to sleep and rest that
Oh,
ankle.
thank you.
All right. What
Bill,
do
you
we
got your
next?
bike? Bill, you got your bike today?
He's done. He's muted.
I got you.
Okay. All right. What do we got next?
Okay, we got IT on section 12. And his budget is on page, let me see,
On 12,
12-6.
$3.6 increase.
Yes, 13,000. It's probably going to be less after the health insurance, but it's due to the COLA as well as the health insurance, plus the fact that his assistant that he has working with him has been promoted to assistant IT director. So that's why you'll see a slight increase on the salaries.
Okay.
Is that Jose?
Jose?
Yes, that's what.
Yes.
Are there any questions or comments on the budget?
I have a comment.
IT budget? Go ahead.
I think
George has a comment.
I know George does a lot with a little, and I've seen it. So if he needs any more money, I wouldn't hesitate. But thank you for doing what you do, George. You really do provide a huge service for as little as possible. Thank you.
Oh, he works miracles.
Through the chair, George Loeb, that's your area of expertise. So I commend your statement.
Particularly right after this COVID, this is a ton of new tasks have been thrown yours and Jose's way, your department's way in the last few months.
That's true. It's been pretty busy. There was actually from before
Thank you, George.
COVID hit.
Thank you for all you do.
I think it's from city hall moving over everywhere throughout the city. I think that's probably put a lot of burden on you guys, George.
It has.
Big burden. And he's also now working on getting the senior center and the aquatic room set up for the virtual learning program that we're going to start August 31st for the schools. So George and Jose have been doing a heck of a job trying to get those two rooms hooked up with Wi-Fi and all that for these kids coming in.
Yeah. Through the chair, George, go home, will you? Thank you for what you did for us.
Okay, no other comments? We go to the next budget. Good night,
sir.
George.
No.
Uh,
Georgie, bye.
Thank you.
City attorney's budget, section 7 is staying the same as last year. There's no increase in their fee.
Okay,
That's
That's
through the
good.
chair. That's through the chair. That's good.
that's what I said. That's good. Hey, so we go on to the next budget.
Section 21, that's the building department. I know I got,
Mr. Ulysses.
Ulysses is there somewhere. There he is.
I don't see him. But I'll probably be able to hear him though.
Yeah,
Come on now.
okay, all right, their budget is on 21-4. And as you can see, it's about 167. Now, this budget does not affect the general fund because it's its own separate fund. It's a special revenue fund, but it's about 167,000 or 15.6% lower than last year. Mainly due to the fact that last year they had some significant expenses in the new software that they're installing in the building department.
Yep.
And as you remember, in accordance to state laws, the fees generated by the building function should be used exclusively for the purpose of funding the operating costs of the building department. So if you have any questions, Ulysses is there to answer them for you.
I do,
Well,
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Ulysses, the new building code licensing software, you've implemented it fully, or you're still in the process with that?
Hi, Councilwoman. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. We're trying to move to the original City Hall first in order to implement the program. I think it's going to be a better transition than if we do it now and then have to move over there. And then, it's going to be probably better if we wait on settled in our old. But yeah, we're almost ready.
Okay, so we're not really using it yet then?
We're not yet. We still have
How long do
training.
you think?
Yeah, we still have some training to go. So we're gonna, in our old building in order to finish the training. And but I would say probably September, October, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're planning to move back into City Hall either the end of September or the beginning of October. That's when the contractor said the work will be finished. So
That's right.
That's
Through
what
the
we're
chair,
looking at.
that's good to hear.
Okay. Any other questions for the building department?
George, nice job, man.
George,
Ulysses, good job.
have one more question,
We have to commend Ulysses and Robert and his staff because they have been very hard hit in their department with this COVID thing. And they have been working long hours to try and keep up with residents' requests for permits and all that. So him and his staff have been doing a great job. And I think we need to commend them for what they're doing and what they continue to do.
Well, the 15%, 15.6 reduction in budget has got my attention.
Yes, that's great.
Councilwoman
Mayor-
Mitchell.
Just
Go
one
ahead.
more. Ulysses, could you tell us as far as the permitting process with the COVID? And I know like the city manager said, you've had really unique challenges in trying to, get permitting done, inspections done in people's homes and having our employees go into people's homes and people allowing them in, and the whole combination has really complicated everything. How are we doing on that? Like, as far as timeliness, are we pretty much caught up to what we used to be, or we have a big delay? And I'm just sort of curious. I mean, obviously you've got some challenges now that, business isn't as usual.
We're still the same operation. Inspections are still the same. We have the only thing that we had to change is the lobby. We're close to the public just for their safety and ours. But as far as the on-field inspectors, we're still on schedule. Like the city manager said, we haven't changed at all. We're still operating regular hours.
So we don't have a big backlog on that due to COVID of things backing up.
Sometimes due to the fact that they're emailing the submittals, we do get a little bit. We had 2 clerks that were out for 30 days. We have one still out. She's going to be out for 60 days. So that does put a little monkey wrench. We're doing the best what we have thanks to IT also, But as far as field inspectors, it's the same, same schedule, same times.
Mayor, I'd like to say something. Bob, it's not only the reduction in cost, that gets my attention is the fact that they've been able to do it and keep the same level of service. That's to me is a plus right there.
Councilman, that's an excellent thought, sir.
Thank you. Good job,
Thank you,
Ulysses and Robert.
And Robert and.
By the
staff.
way, good luck tomorrow.
I can't do it alone. I got my man right here, Robert, and I have a very, very helpful staff, which I owe them everything. So I just wanted to say that it's not me, it's them, that do all the work. So
It's a team. It's a team.
definitely.
It's a team. Ulysses, you're a good man.
It's going under difficult circumstances.
I will say that Ulysses and Robert, that when this is one of the things we had a big problem with my first few years around here, and you've been an asset, and you've been what you give to community is service answers, which they didn't get before. They just got compounded with different things they had to do, and I appreciate it because of what I had to go through with your previous people that worked before you at that administration. So keep up the good work. Robert, where's your velvet jacket today?
No,
What happened to your velvet jacket today? We don't rate your velvet jacket, huh?
it's too hot.
Have a good evening.
Too
Thank
hot.
you. Any other questions for them?
No,
Have
sir.
I'm good, Mayor.
Be good.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ulysses, good job, sir.
go to section 11, that's code compliance. That's also Ulysses and Robert. And that budget is about $6,600 higher than last year, and mainly because, again, of the COLA and the health insurance increase.
But we still don't know the answer to that, correct?
Correct. It's going to change eventually, but it's going to change slightly, but we won't know till Monday.
But this is a guide. This is a guide. Are any questions on the budget?
I have none on this, sir.
Don't either, Mayor.
Okay, we're going to move on.
All right, let's go to Parks and Rec, section 14. I believe Omar is on the line.
Hi, Omar.
All right,
When you get on.
let's look at the first budget, section 14-4, which is the administration budget. Before we go on to that, the total recreation budget for this year, all departments, is $2,419,998, which is about $134,000 or 5.3% lower than the current year budget. The proposed administration budget you're going to look at now
Says 6.2.
is about $98,000 or 6.2% lower than fiscal year 1920. Again, the Pelican Playhouse will receive an annual subsidy of $29,000 for next year, which is the same as current year. And I have Mr. Wakefield is on the line in case council has any specific questions on this part of the budget.
Hey, Ralph, thanks for bringing the arts back to this town, sir.
Thank you as well.
Our purpose, Bob. Wait a minute, let me turn my camera on.
I can hear you, sir.
There we are. Wait a minute. Yeah, there we are. Let me get us a little more
I saw
light.
you earlier.
There you are.
Yes, we're in the theater, actually.
Oh, imagine that.
Summer Night's Dream happening behind us.
We
And
missed it
Nancy
so much.
Jones as well.
It has been quite a summer, as everybody knows. A huge props to Omar and all the support he has lent us, allowing us to work out of the aquatic center on the last month and a half. And this Saturday, we're going to go CDC guidelines continuing back into the theater with our live classes. But I have another group. Actually, this summer I have 52 participants, which is more than I've ever had. I have opened up the Zoom company, which has been our new go-to, and I had people come in from all over the country. So usually an out-of-towner is driving in from Fort Lauderdale or Homestead. I've got people from San Francisco and Illinois and Wisconsin and Georgia, and it's just really.
Ralph, you have vast connections.
Maybe it's my mic. Any better?
Maybe.
Oh,
All right, is there any questions on this budget or any comments?
Absolutely none through the chair. None.
I have a few, Mayor.
So do I.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
I guess Ralph first, since you're on the phone, and thank you, Ralph, for everything you do for the Pelican Playhouse. I know our residents have a lot of fun participating in that. And again, everyone in the city is just doing phenomenal, finding really unique ways to keep things going with the challenges that we've had with the COVID. What happens to the expenses that we give you a certain amount of money for technology, I guess, or, I don't know, equipment or something? What happened this year with that money?
what happened?
As far as the COVID, did you use it all?
We used all but, wait a minute, $957.88.
Okay, and do we get a list of what you spend that on?
Yes, you do.
It's in the packet.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Ralph. So you anticipate again, you'll have, going forward, that you'll need that amount for equipment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mitchell, if you look at page 1431 of your book, there's a report that Ralph provides on the $5,000 repair fund and what that was used for last year so far, leaving a current balance of $957.88.
And I know we've used the Rebecca Sosa Theater for a lot of other events too, not just the Pelican Playhouse.
Which
and more than ever now.
Which Ralph and Nancy orchestrate.
Right. And I have some questions, please, for Omar.
Well, wait a minute. Councilman Petrolonga had a question.
No, but mine's for Omar as well, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Well, you can still go first.
No, ladies first.
Ladies first.
Oh, Jamie, that's so kind of you. So chivalrous.
I'm just a kind person, man. What can I say?
You are very chivalrous.
Thank you. I'm sure that's a good thing.
Maria,
I mean it. I'm not being facetious. I mean it. You are. You've always been very specific. Thank you.
All right, let's get to let's we're not zooming for each other here. Let's get to the point here. Go ahead, Councilman Mitchell.
All right.
Yes.
Omar, I wanted to ask you with the turkey trot expenses, it almost increased double from 4,400 to 9,200 this year. Is that, what is the expense due to? Is that more people and more t-shirts or what?
More turkeys.
Actually, it's a
No,
decrease.
the turkeys are donated by Charlie Leonard.
It was a joke.
Leonard.
Well, the total amount, there's a little bit of a decrease, but unfortunately, the scoring system goes up in price as we are getting more innovative with scoring systems, and they get more computerized. They get more expensive, and then they charge us per runner, which we have more people participating, and that's kind of where the increase comes with the cost.
Okay.
Thanks, Omar.
And Omar, I wanted to thank you for this summer camp this summer, even though it didn't, we weren't able to keep it going because of, some employees testing positive, but it was a great attempt on the part of the rec center to provide that service for our residents. And then this virtual learning is just wonderful. It's a great, really needed service. I've heard from so many residents that are just really appreciative that the city's providing a way for their children to do the virtual learning and have someone there to help them get on the computer and, just assist and a place to go. So thank you so much for you and your staff for coming up with that idea.
Thank you.
Councilman Mitchell, I'll second. Councilman Mitchell, I'll second that.
And we'll be using the Rouse Rebecca Theater for that those virtual classes too. So that's one of the uses of the Rebecca Sosa Theater.
And Ralph will do all the video and all of that for the city.
Are we moving computers up there or how? Because I know we have computers downstairs. How do we get them up? Are we moving computers up to the Rebecca Sosa Theater? Are we buying new computers?
No,
it's-
the
it's-
students have to provide their own iPad or their laptop. We don't provide any of that.
Okay, and you provide a way for them to plug in and log
Yeah.
on?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. IT's been working diligently on making sure the Wi-Fi there is identified only for the virtual class. So only the students will be able to log on. It has its private password and everything. So nobody else will be able to get on to the Wi-Fi unless they are in the program.
We're using the existing staff to help with
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
That's pretty cool.
Anybody else?
Yes. Are you done, Councilwoman?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
Maria.
Mayor, I want to thank Omar for everything he's doing. I mean, this farm share is putting a lot of stress on them. We had one a couple of weeks ago and everyone was working hard, and I think that's attributed to his leadership. We have another one coming up on Wednesday, and then we have another one coming, I'm sorry, we have one on Saturday, and then we have one on Wednesday. So that's a lot of work for you guys, Omar. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing out there. We're helping out feed our residents.
Yeah, the 26th, I
Councilman.
think, Jamie. Jamie, the 26th, right? That's the next feed deal.
And
Saturday. It's this
we're
Saturday.
having one this Saturday, the 22nd also. And just keep in mind that these two food events, all the payroll for the employees from the Parks and Rec that are going to be working that event is one of the eligible expenses under the CARES Act funding from the county. So I'm putting in requests for reimbursements for the payroll costs of these employees for those events too.
Great,
Good for
great.
you, good for you, Mr. Manager. Good for you.
William, I like to see if we can change it to, instead of 9 to 8, maybe you can talk to Alina and change the time, because we advertise it as a 9 o'clock start, and then we have so many people waiting, and then we start at 8.
Right.
And, if we can change the time.
I'm talking to her about maybe starting time of 8 o'clock, which is what we did the last time, because the truck gets in at 7.
Right.
And we're already set up by 8, but the problem is there's so many cars backed up that
Exactly.
we have to start early to get the traffic moving.
Right.
So,
But if
yeah.
I think if we advertise at 8, William, I think it will work better than 9, because
Yeah.
last time we ran out of food and we had people coming in, and I think if we advertise it at 8, it will work better. The other thing, Omar, I have a question. I want you to explain something to me. How can you have a virtual 5K run? How does that work?
Well, it's actually a lot easier than the regular 5K.
Yeah,
Basically,
I bet, right?
we just put it on our website, Instagram or Facebook, and the individual running has to basically have a running application on their iPhone or their smartphone, and they run it on their own. We tell them they have any window between 6 a.m. on Saturday to midnight Sunday to run it. They time themselves, and then they got to take a picture of the actual app, and then they have to post it on Instagram saying that they did 3.2 miles, and it has to say 22 minutes, 26 minutes. And when they post it, they put their age bracket, where they ran it at, which we ask them to please run it somewhere in the city. And it's, we're hoping that, that we trust them.
Omar, we already did one a few weeks ago, right?
We did one in the spring for the Springs of the River Cities Festival. We did one.
Yep.
We had about like 25 participants, some of that. 25 participants. And we had a fishing one this past weekend, the fishing tournament.
Nice.
I know there was
You
a lot
guys always do a great job.
tournament, even though it rained.
Yeah, George, right?
Mayor, I have two more questions, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, Omar, the savings of last year for equipment, machinery and equipment, there was a $75,000 amount in the budget, and this year we don't have that. What was that for last year?
That's something for the building, right? Yeah, I think that's we did some air conditioners. We fixed the AC
Okay.
That
units
was for
here.
the AC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilwoman, I think that was air conditioning,
Right.
HVD.
Okay, and then I have a question for William. William, I was just wondering when you said that you were sending the cost of the staff for the food distributions, of the rec center staff for the food distributions to be reimbursed through COVID funding. Can we do that for the staff that's helping with the virtual learning due to COVID?
I don't know if that's going to be eligible. I'll ask the county tomorrow on that, but remember on that one, we're also charging the parents $80 a week.
Right.
So I'll run it by them and see if that's something that that can be requested for reimbursement from the county.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Move on.
Keep up the good work, Omar.
Thank you guys. And kind of like what
Omar,
Ulysses said earlier.
Omar, you're awesome.
Nah, man. Honestly, like what Ulysses said earlier, you know, I have a great staff, and honestly, we work, you know, together as one to make it happen. So even though I am the director, but without my staff, it doesn't work. William, who's been here now for 2-3 months with us, I'm sure he sees us meet quite often in the office, and we brainstorm and find ways to come up with new innovative ways for programs. And I got to give them a lot of credit. A lot of credit is to them. Even with farm share and things like that, like Danny, Caitlin, all of them do a really good job. So
yeah,
Omar, I
Omar, give a lot of respect.
Omar, you are a humble man.
All right, we want to go anywhere else here? Anything else?
All right, the next one is the pool budget on 1410, page 1410, and that budget is about $16,000 or 2.7% lower than the current year.
No problem with that.
What was,
I think the big decrease from last year was repairs and maintenance. For the current year, they had about $36,000, and this year it's down to $9,500.
Right.
That was for the pool deck. The pool deck was redone this year.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Perfect sense.
Have the employees been working there since the COVID, since the pool shut down?
Yes, actually, the aquatic center actually is doing really well. I mean, it's probably the one function that we have that's pretty much operational. We have in the mornings, we have open lap swimming, which has gone really well because a lot of the pools are closed in the community around us. So we're servicing some people from swim teams, but they can't come and swim like as a team. They just have to swim individually. But we have lap swimming. We have a tot swim, which is for parents, mostly that have kids under the age of 6 or 7. They can use the beach area in the morning time between 10 and 12. The only thing we're not really doing is rentals, and we can't do learn to swim because we can't make contact with any of the children. But besides that, the aquatic center is actually pretty operational, and it's pretty busy. Like it's people, especially now it's really hot. That tot swim program is pretty active, a lot more than what I thought it would be. Actually,
Not that one. And then what are you going to do when school opens this coming Monday? What programs
That's my
will still be
cord.
open at that time?
That's my cord from
we're
there.
still gonna have
There's
the lap
another
swimming
cord
in the morning,
somewhere.
because it is early enough where even if we have some lap swimmers that are in
No,
high school,
that's
they'll
my
probably
cord
come out
that
and
I
work
take
out
with me. There's another one
before
that's
that.
exactly the same.
Hold on a second, Omar. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So we still will have lap swimming. We're still gonna have the top program, which is mostly for moms or dads that are, that their kids are not in school, babies that they can just get them in the water for a little bit. The aquatic center will close from 12 to 3. We use that time to clean up the pool and do any maintenance that we need to do in the pump house and the restrooms and stuff like that. And then we open back up in the afternoon for the same thing, lap swimming and the swim program for the little ones.
Thank you.
And we do have water aerobics.
one more question for Omar regarding the
Yes.
pool, please. Omar, regarding the canopies, the cabanas, and I know you put that on the wish list of new cabanas. What are your thoughts? How will they hold out, for another season?
Well,
Another
to be
year?
honest with you, will the cabanas hold another year? Yes, that's a pretty easy question. It can hold another year. Our problem is that they're getting very, very difficult to maintain. Aesthetically, they look really bad. You can't really pressure clean them anymore because they tear. It's just becoming a nuisance for us, to be honest with you. So we wanted to propose getting not so much cabanas, but creating a shade canopy structure. That's just one big structure that would cover that area. And then we would identify spots where you could rent light cabanas, but we didn't want them to be in white. We didn't want them to look the way they look now. Like even when we have like a storm, to take that top off is a nightmare. I'm talking about a nightmare. And if you get it off, trying to put it back on is even worse. So it's just, it's nice, but it's not functional for like a recreation facility. So we're hoping that with due time, we could get that project going, but we understand that due to COVID, you know, and everything else going on, this is something we could, you know, we could push back another year. We probably could, but yeah, they could hold another year if we had to. There's no doubt.
And the furniture, under the cabanas? Because I know when we
Same
rent
thing,
cabanas-
same thing. It's hard to clean. I mean, they're white, they get moldy. It's not an easy task. I mean, we buy
It's a
products.
It's a
Yeah, it's a
maintenance
lot of
nightmare.
maintenance. It's a lot of maintenance. It's a
Yeah.
maintenance nightmare.
Next year, I mean, when in the future years, it has to be navy or dark green or something that, like with all awnings in South Florida, you have to go
I
for a
agree.
dark color.
I agree. We were hoping to match it with the other blue one that we have there that's next to the pump house. That
I
was
think
just as dirty,
another-
but you
another-
can't notice it.
Another priority that Omar has is that the community center is 10 years old now, Omar.
That's correct.
And
Yeah, wow.
it's seriously in need of a paint job.
Yes.
So at some point, we're going to have to paint that community center again.
Is that in the
Yes.
budget? Is that in the
No.
budget?
No, that's on the wish list.
List.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that
actually,
outside or inside?
Actually, I did
So-
see that. I did see that.
Outside.
Outside. We
Outside.
painted the inside. We've painted the inside throughout the years ourselves. At least twice a year we do it. And then last year we actually had someone come in and like a professional company come out and paint it, like bring it back to the way it was. And they did a great job, and it wasn't that expensive. But like we could keep it up ourselves, but after about 5-6 years, it needs professional painting, you know, detail work. But the outside needs painting. At least just in my opinion. I mean, you probably won't notice it because you could drive by and it's not a complete eyesore. But since I come here every day,
You look at it up close.
yeah, you can see the moldy stuff like that.
Ever since City Hall moved in there, I'm outside and I notice it. That
Yeah.
it-
Yeah,
it-
William,
it-
right?
it- Yeah, it needs it. At
I
some
have a
point,
question
we'll
for
need to
Omar.
Address that.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Omar, how are the warranties on the equipment for the pool? Have we run out? Did we get extended warranties for the pumps and stuff like that?
They gave us a year warranty on most of the stuff. There are some that have 5 years. But the reality is that if we have anything in there that breaks, we probably have to pay for it out of our pocket. I think the sand filters are 5 years, right, Milan?
Yeah.
The sand filters are 5 years. So
Yes.
we're just
Yeah,
about
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But everything else is a year. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you have like a maintenance program that you've set up where you know you're gonna have to budget for these things coming up so that we, you know?
Yes. Yes.
If you
And
did,
that's
your
that's where the
councilman,
maintenance.
Vice Mayor, if you didn't, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's that's why when we close the pool down 12 to 3 every day, that's where the maintenance is important. When Kaylin was there, she had a good plan going on, and then we passed it on to James. And James is very handy actually, so he's able to kind of fix things here and there. But the reality is that with chlorine, the muriatic acid, I mean, all those chemicals eat everything up. So we do have parameters in place. We clean, we brush areas down so they don't get corroded, stuff like that. But you know, it's an aquatic center. There's gonna come a time in the next, I would say, probably 2-3 years, where we might have to address some of those issues.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, we move on.
None, sir.
What's next there, William?
The pool
Police.
budget, I'm sorry, the tennis budget on page 1414. That proposed budget is the same amount as the current year. It includes $20,000 for resurfacing of the 3 tennis courts that we do every year. And that budget is on page
Makes perfect.
1414.
That makes perfect sense. We set that up a long time ago and we should continue it.
Absolutely. And our community loves having the tennis courts available to them. Manny's done a great job of trying to figure out times where under the
Absolutely.
COVID crisis, they're available to the majority of people and keeping the academies going too.
Yes.
Absolutely, Councilwoman. Absolutely.
Any other comments on the budget? Any questions?
On
We move
tennis.
on.
Okay, the final one is parks maintenance on 1417. This budget is about 19,842 or 6.3% lower than the current year. And most of the decrease you'll see is on repairs and maintenance. Because last year we budgeted for laser grading and clay for PV and Stafford baseball fields and repair of the soccer field at Stafford Park, which we don't have this year.
Right.
Okay, any questions on the budget there?
No, sir.
Any comments?
None.
Okay,
Well
All right.
run. sir.
okay. Anything else?
Thank you,
William?
Omar.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Omar, you do a great job, brother.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate your guys' support. Always giving us an opportunity to do what we got to do. We appreciate it.
You got it, Omar. All right, where do we go to
All right.
next?
Let's go to the police on section 9. Their budget is on page 9-8. And let me read some of the things. Fiscal year 2021 budget is 141,296 or a 1.9% decrease from the prior year. The budget includes a $49,000 payout to a retiring police officer. And it also includes a request for $12,000 for to replace a new canine unit that's retiring. So the chief is here, and if you have any specific questions on their budget.
You know what? Thank you, sir. Through the chair. Armando, I got to tell you, I don't know how you do it. I have no idea how you do this. With the budget that you have and the sworn officer 42-ish. I mean,
well,
please.
If I may, I think Ulysses and Omar have said it. It's not me. It's the team that we have in place. We have a great team, great
Thank you,
officers, great supervisors, great command staff, and my right-hand person, Mrs. Cates, that, she's the
Leah.
one that controls my purse strings. Yeah. So, and she should be on. I don't know if Erica, do you see?
I see. I think she's on. She was on. a
Yeah,
little
she's
while
on
ago.
as she's using Daryl's
Daryl,
computer.
yeah, it's his computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see.
Shadow's over here too.
If I might,
Yeah, go ahead, George.
I hope you guys are planning a retirement party for the canine.
Aw,
Everybody's
George, that's
invited.
so cool. George, that's so cool.
Yeah, for the canine handler.
Yeah, both.
Mayor, I have a few questions for the chief, if possible.
Go ahead.
First, Chief, thank you for bringing the budget down from a reduction of 141,000 is really substantial for your department. So thank you for doing that. Do we have any openings right now? Do we have positions for officers that are unfilled?
We have one, but we will be sending at the end of this month one of our dispatchers who's done an excellent job. And it's just my way of saying thank you for such a good job. We're sponsoring her through the police academy. So once she completes the police academy training and then her field training, she will fill that position. And unless, somebody just, let me take that back. When Officer Cates retires, then we'll have that position open so that we'll have to fill. And unless, somebody leaves unexpectedly, but as of right now with Natasha Hernandez, the dispatcher going to the academy, she'll fill that remaining vacancy. And then when Officer Cates retires, we'll have another vacancy.
It's good to know we're offering her that
Sure.
opportunity. It's great to hire from within whenever we can, and someone who's already really familiar with the city as a dispatcher. So that's great to hear. And a female too, a female officer. The equipment budget, we went down 16,000 on the equipment budget.
Let me turn to that.
Was that vehicles or is that other equipment?
That was vehicles. That was
Right.
vehicles. Since we went into this budget, we're trying to cut back on capital expenditures as much as possible to keep this down to a bare minimum. The police with the vehicles they have now, they can do another year without having to replace any of those vehicles. So that's why you see a reduction in that area.
Okay.
Good.
And
Through
are
the
any
chair,
of these expenses, this is, I guess, for the city manager and the chief, are any of these expenses that we're looking at possibly to be reimbursed as COVID expenses of these that are listed here? I know there's others that will be. But
We have requests into the county for the chief and Leah were worked on a report of all of our hotel calls from March to now related to COVID. So we have a request into the county for I believe almost $17,000 plus payroll taxes and pension costs. So that brings it up to about $26,000 from the county. We also have a request in for all of the COVID time that was paid to not only officers, but general employees that were out of work due to quarantine, due to testing, due to maybe their spouse or a family member being tested positive, so they needed to quarantine themselves or be at home taking care of them. So, and that request is almost over $60,000 in time that we've paid to employees for that purpose.
And the request
Right.
with the
That's,
hotels is because the county is housing in some of the hotels, that they're housing some,
Well,
people that-
it has to do, but most of the hotels that we've been dealing with are not housing the people.
Okay.
There are basically 3, maybe 4 hotels in the city off of 36th Street that are causing us some of the big problems. And those are the ones that we're requesting reimbursement for.
Yeah, what has happened is
through the-
as a result of the COVID, the only people that were allowed to rent a room were people that were supposedly displaced as a result of the pandemic. These particular hotels that are causing us a lot of our problems were very lax in how they, what's the word I'm looking for? How they confirmed whether in fact you were displaced as a result of the pandemic. Very lax and in other areas also. So we were able to, as best as possible, come up with an amount of how much it has cost us to respond to those incidents at those locations and give it to the city manager so he could put in a request for reimbursement.
Okay.
Right. Through the chair.
Go
Through
ahead.
the chair. Can
Yes,
I speak? Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Chief, and I think this is also directed to William. The collective bargaining, which is coming up, as we're all aware. How's that going?
You'd have to.
We were planning to start about a week ago, but I don't know if you heard in the news, one of the FOP people, his name is John Check.
I did read that, sir.
He was killed in a motorcycle accident last week.
God bless his soul.
Off of I-75 in Davie somewhere.
Yep.
And that held up the negotiations, but I spoke to our labor attorney today and we're going to start Monday with them. So we should be done hopefully before the end of the fiscal year. With those
I need to
Thank
say
you.
though, I need to say
Thank you, Mr.
that
Manager. Thank you.
I need to say that I dealt and spoke with Mr. Check on just a handful of occasions, but in all my years, I've never met such a professional FOP rep. Usually management and the union side are at odds, And although he had a job to do and I had my job, it's got to be one of the most professional relationships that I've ever dealt with. And my hat's off to him. He'll be sorely missed from I know from the union side, and at least with me dealing with such a professional gentleman.
Well,
I agree with you.
Chief,
I
Chief,
agree.
incredible statement, sir.
Chief, I want to thank you and your staff for, I know it's been really difficult times, a lot of situations and with the COVID and other unexpected situations that we've dealt with in the past few months. And thank you for the professionalism that the department has shown throughout this and for watching over our community, which is what our police department is supposed to do. And
Thank you.
I hear
And
that
again,
from a lot of residents that your services of the staff are greatly appreciated, of the officers and the rest of the staff.
thank you. And again, it's a statement to the men and women that actually are out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Chief,
Thanks,
Chief,
Chief.
everybody staying safe?
Yes, we've had a few people test positive, but as of today, just yeah, everybody's back to work, thank God. No major symptoms for the few that did test positive, some minor things, you know, loss of taste and smell and things like that, some fatigue, but as of right now,
That comes back.
everybody's back to
it
work
comes
and
back.
doing well.
Good to hear, Chief.
Anything else for the policeman's budget?
No, Mayor, thank
We
you.
move on.
All right, the next section of the police budget is the LETF fund, on pages 10.2, 10.5, and 10.7. It's approximately 171,602 for fiscal year 2021. And the chief is here in case you have any specific questions on this budget.
Through the chair, I'd like to ask, how much is left in that fund at the moment? Chief and the manager,
I think the
guess.
manager has the
We
balance,
just-
but we just deposited, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Manager, about $125,000 into that. fund?
Correct,
Yes,
correct.
and there's some more coming. I happen to chair the committee for the Economic Crimes Task Force, and years ago, well, not years
Right.
ago, up to about 2 years ago, it was strictly focused on narcotics money laundering. But
Correct.
we sort of redesigned the task force, and we're looking at all economic crimes or any funds that are derived from illicit activities. So we've had cases of people smuggling gold. We've had cases of corrupt foreign politicians, mostly Venezuela. And we're diversing into anything, any funding that is derived from illegal activities. So, and that's, and plus we're also doing a financial forensics of not just individuals, but businesses that are in the business of laundering money for whatever reason. So, and that's
through the
really
chair-
proven a success.
Through the chair, I'd like to thank the chief for paying attention and keeping close to that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief?
Yeah, I do, Mayor. Chief, is this something new that you are able to do now? New legislation? Why haven't we been doing this before?
I'm not sure I understand. When you say new, are you talking about the forfeiture, the asset forfeitures?
Yes, the expanding, the way of gathering money, I guess. Before you said it was only drug money.
Yeah, for several years, and you know, Miami was and still is the hub of funding back and forth of illegal activities. But the dopers, the drug dealers, and the people they use, they change their methods, they change their tactics. So the seizures and the asset forfeitures of 3, 4, 5 years ago were drying up, and they were going through other areas and other avenues. So we have some outstanding investigators. In general, I think the one that we have assigned there is probably the best. He could write books on money laundering investigations. And we just started looking at other areas, not just narcotics money. We're still doing narcotics cases, and our investigator, he's also assigned to Homeland Security investigations So we assist them with those cases, not just here, but occasionally we do, they have a nexus here, but occasionally they expand to other parts of the country. So we have dibs on whatever cases we assist with. But like I said, we started looking at not just narcotics money, but all kinds of illegal money, whether it's, like I said, foreign government officials, corrupt foreign government officials. We had a case with gold smuggling, you name it, human trafficking, which, you know, we had a pretty good case a couple weeks ago. All that. We're looking at everything.
Chief, I read about it.
Congratulations, Chief, on that.
Chief, how about the guy that was all those nice racehorses that he had up in a
Oh yeah, he was a Venezuelan. I forget what his title was, but he had a house.
It wasn't important, that's for sure.
Right. He had a house in Wellington, and we seized. When I say we, the task force seized the house, seized either 8 or 12 very expensive racehorses, and then
Wow.
I always get the numbers confused, and either 8 or 12 very expensive, luxurious cars. And when we seized him and they presented the case, he had an attorney. He didn't even fight. He signed everything, no problem. Take it all, you know. So yeah.
So what do we do with these cars? Do we auction them?
The federal government, that was a case through Homeland Security, and the federal government auctions them and auctions the horses and auctions the home, and then they divvy up all the participating agencies that helped on the case get a percentage.
Good police work, sir.
Nice.
Okay, anything else on the policeman's budget?
No,
That's all I have, Mayor.
We move on?
Okay, the final one we have is the debt service budget, and that's on page 18-3. And as I mentioned in my memo, that's about 233,831, or 16% higher this than the current year. Increase is mainly due to the new debt service payment for the senior center facility. So you'll see that on 18-3.
Right. William, I read that, and 16% is attributed to what, sir?
The new senior center debt.
Okay, gotcha. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I don't know if you got the email I sent you today of the sign that
I read it.
ceramic
I
sign. that
read it.
finally
I
went
read
up
it. The ceramic sign.
You gotta stop by and look at it.
It looks
really-
awesome
I
in the
did. I
photo.
did. I went by today and looked at it.
I think our seniors are gonna really love this place. They're gonna really enjoy it for
Maria.
a long, long time to come. More and more seniors.
Councilwoman, for sure.
Hello?
And it was money well spent. Very
Thanks,
well
George.
spent.
Absolutely right. You were part of that back in the day.
All right, anything else, anything on the
That's
budget
it, Mayor.
besides that? That's it?
That's it.
I think you
Okay.
guys, what a great meeting, Mayor. Again. That's 2 in a row.
Well, it's easy when you have a lot of nice talkers.
There you go,
Let me,
brother.
there's something I want to do. I want each budget, I would like to request from the manager that each budget, I want them, not in the book, but compare one to the next. The 2019 budget, bottom line, to the 2020 budget to the 2021 budget, bottom line. In other words, what the, let's say like for.
By department, you mean?
Yeah, by department.
Yeah.
Like human
Yeah.
resource. What
Mayor,
you were there last
good
year,
thought.
what this year, and want to see
Okay.
a reduction in each budget or what was put more on for this year. So we can
Actually-
see the balance of it is.
Actually,
Not in the
Mayor,
book. I just want a straight line.
I like it. I like your thought, and I think there are only 2 or 3 or maybe 4 or 5 that are higher. Everything else is in the negative.
But my point is, I
And
want
whoever is higher is really
For
minimal.
us to see it. I get-
Yeah.
I just like to see that and to go ahead and make sure that we keep the millage at the 7,333 or whatever it was, even though they expanded to 7,500 for security, but I want to see all of the,
We did.
if anything else that could be cut.
Through the
When do you
chair.
want to see that by, Mayor?
Go ahead and agree with the part.
Mayor, when do you want to see that by? This Monday or?
I think it's a memo to everybody.
Yeah.
I
send it
think
out.
it's an email or a memo to everybody that they can look at it for the next budget meeting when we go ahead and talk about it. we have it in front of us as a cheat sheet.
Okay.
Because I like to request, Mayor, maybe we can do it after we have a more concrete number for the health insurance. So the numbers will be a little bit more accurate.
I think that's
believe,
forthcoming.
It's going to be, because I'll
Yes.
prepare it after, I already know what we're looking at on health insurance, so I can prepare something and get it out to you after next Monday's meeting.
There you go.
Right,
Thank
and
you.
one other thing, Mayor, if I may ask, if William could, I would like to know at least, and we set the millage higher than normal than we need to because right now we're in hurricane season. We're dealing with the COVID crisis, which was unprecedented. And, you know, in reality, at this time of the year, we always have the possibility of a devastating catastrophic hurricane, and we have to be prepared to get our community through it. William, could you give us for the next meeting, I guess, or with this memo, an idea after hurricane, what was it that we had, Irma 3 years ago?
Right.
That almost hit, but didn't, but we still had substantial loss. Just what we might expect to incur as far as expenses, and I know some of them will eventually be reimbursed by FEMA, but
Right.
just to give us an idea, should we, that was, I think, Labor Day weekend, a
Right.
few or close to it. Should
It
we
was
encounter
September
that?
8th. It was September 8th, my birthday.
Oh,
Was it?
Yeah,
then we'll rename it Hurricane Billy Bain.
that's okay. I'm a
Hurricane
hurricane, all right.
Hurricane
I-
So
Billy.
just to give us an
Hey,
idea of
Billy.
what we might anticipate as far as, should it be a catastrophic hurricane that does hit us? Irma, you know, at the last minute wiggled away and we still had substantial damage, but just so we can keep that in mind.
The
Sure.
big damage of all the trees.
Councilwoman, through the chair, can I respond to that? I
No.
think the mayor,
No,
I
you
think-
can't.
the manager has always factored that. Always.
Okay. Anything else?
One more thing. I'd like to thank my good friend and my colleague, George Loeb, for stepping up and representing this city for the period of time that he did out of his own recognizance. And God bless you, George. Thank you.
It was
Second,
my total
Councilman
pleasure.
Loeb, and also for your service before this as a council person.
I thank you all for having the faith in me. So I appreciate
I'm
it
the
as
only
well.
one. I'm the only one that faithted you. I'm the one who nominated you.
No, I did. You seconded it. You seconded it. You passed the gavel. You passed the gavel. I nominated him.
Yeah. George, thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
We still have
Thanks,
one more
George.
meeting. We still have one more meeting. He could be there and we could thank him again. So
I know
he's
that.
gonna
I really
just
thank
be
you,
there.
George.
It was on my mind. I wanted to do that tonight.
You got it. You got it, Mr.
Thank you
Councilman
all.
Ben.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
All right. This meeting is adjourned.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.
Aye.
And may the
Bye.
good news to be yours. What do you say?
Good meeting, Mayor.
Thank
Good
you.
night, and may the good news be yours.
It's
Well,
nice to
George,
see Eric.
nice.
It's nice to see Erica not bumping around all around her face. Them
I
roads
know,
are bad,
I know.
Erica. Them roads are
Leave meeting.
bad.
Sorry, they
Where'd
are.
you drive from?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yep.
Where at Georgia?
Northern Georgia, LJ.
Okay, you're breaking up. We'll talk later.
Log.
Bye-bye.